Hello from Miss Callahan. This is Friday the 29th of January's video for literacy, and today we are looking at building comprehension skills. You need to write the date and the learning objective in your books now. And make sure you're ready and listening for the final literacy lesson of the week. Yesterday we started to look at suffixes. Can anyone remember what is a suffix? There's an example at the bottom that might be able to help us. So a suffix is a group of letters used at the end of a root word to turn it into another word. If you look at the example, garden is the root word, is the suffix, and gardener is the new word. Using that knowledge, can you help me with these two examples? So the root word is enjoy, the suffix is ed. What could the new word be? Did you say enjoyed? Well done if you did. Next example, play, ing. New word is playing. And yesterday we were talking about vowels. What are the 5 vowels? Say them out loud now. You can use the rainbow alphabet to help. The 5 vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. If we remember back to yesterday, then I told you that there were some special words that we needed to be really careful of when adding suffixes that start with our 5 vowel letters to words containing more than one syllable. Can you remember what the rule was yesterday that we looked at? The rule that we looked at was if you are adding to a word that ends in a silent E, then you need to lose the silent E when you add the suffix. So for example, the root word adore ends in a silent E. If we were adding ing, the new word would be adoring, but you need to get rid of the E. The same with remove, that ends with an E. If we were adding onto it, we wouldn't want 2 E's. So we would get rid of this E and add the sound. And your new word would be remove Let's try these 3 examples together. You might want to think them in your head, or you might want to write them in your literacy book. The first root word is strange. The suffix we are adding is er or The new word, strange, And you should have spelt it with just 1 E, because we have to lose the first E and then add the suffix. The second one, the root word is forgive. The suffix is able. The new word, forgive able. And again, you should have lost the E and added the suffix. Finally, forgive is the root word again. The suffix is ness. Forgiveness. Oh, that one's still got an E. Why is that? Can we remember what the rule was? The rule only exists when you're adding suffixes that start with a vowel. So starts with an E, which is a vowel. Able starts with an A, which is a vowel, but ness starts with an N. N is a consonant, so you don't need to do that rule for that one. You keep the E and just add the suffix on the end. It's really important to look if the suffixes start with vowels. Now I would like you to try these in your books. Remember, it's really important to look if your suffixes start with vowels. If they start with a vowel, you need to use your special rule and lose the E off the end of the root word. Pause the video while you have a try at this now, and press play when you're ready to continue to your main task. Today we're going to be reading this information text that is in your pack. It's quite a long and hard reading today, so I'm going to read it out now, and then you can read it yourselves in your own time before answering the comprehension questions. You could follow along with your finger while I'm reading. Introduction. Plants are all around us. Across the world, there are approximately 300,000 different species of plants. Scientists keep discovering more and more species though, so the number is growing. Most new species are found in areas uninhabited by humans in tropical places. There are a range of different types of plants. There are flowering and non-flowering plants. Plants are good for us. We can eat some types to get energy, and we can use some in medicine to help us when we are unwell. It is not just humans that use plants though. Other animals need plants for shelter and food to survive. Plants give us oxygen. Plants are very important for our survival on planet Earth. When we breathe in oxygen, our body uses it and we breathe out carbon dioxide. Plants absorb the carbon dioxide that we breathe out and use it to help them grow. Once they have used parts of the carbon dioxide, they expel oxygen, which we breathe in. And there's a picture here to demonstrate this. There's a person that breathes in oxygen and breathes out carbon dioxide. And then the trees absorb the carbon dioxide, use it to help them grow, and then expel oxygen. They get rid of the oxygen. Next, heading types of plants. There are flowering plants that produce flowers and non-flowering plants that do not produce flowers. There are many types of flowering plants that we can find in our local area. Some of them are wild, which means they grow there naturally. Some plants are planted by humans and aren't native to the area. They have been specially planted because they look pretty or smell nice. Adaptation. Adaptation is when a plant or animal species changes over time so that it can live better in its environment. Cacti are well adapted for their environment. They are found in very hot deserts where there is little water available. Cacti have large roots that spread out over a wide area so the plant can collect as much water as possible. They also store water in the stems that they can then use later. And there's a picture of a cactus there. Plants in forests have a different challenge. They may have to compete for sunlight, with the tallest plants getting the most sunlight, leaving the shortest plants struggling to survive. In this kind of environment, plants have adapted to grow tall and thin, with many leaves to capture as much sunlight as possible. Moving on to page 2. Parts of a plant. Plants have many distinctive parts that all have different jobs. All plants have a root system that allow it to collect water and nutrients from the ground. Plants also have a stem to keep them upright and to allow the water to travel up the plant. Leaves are vital for most plants. They allow the plant to make its own food by collecting the sunlight. This is called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis happens in green plants. The plants contain chlorophyll, which give the leaves and stems a green colour. The plant needs sunlight to make its food, so the job of the leaves is to collect energy from sunlight. Parts of a flower. The flower on a flowering plant is made up of several different parts. The diagram to the left shows you where each part is located. The sepal, which is often green, can be found at the bottom of the flower. It was used to protect the flower when it was a bud. The stamen is the male part of the plant. You need both a female part and a male part of a plant to make a new plant. The stamen produces the pollen, which can be carried to different plants. It can be blown into the air, which can cause people to sneeze and suffer hay fever. Petals are found surrounding a flower. Some plants have big bright petals to attract insects, but others that do not need insects to pollinate them have small plain flowers. The carpel is another important part of the flower. This is the female part of the flower that produces fruit. Inside the fruit there are seeds ready to grow into a new plant. Have you ever eaten fruit with seeds in them? What would happen if you planted the seeds? Petals, smells and insects. Flowers on some plants have brightly coloured petals and often have a strong smell. This is to attract insects to the flower. The insect plays an important part in creating the seed by joining the pollen to the female part of another plant to make a seed. Seed dispersal. A plant produces seeds so that it can make more plants. Seed dispersal is the way in which a plant can spread its seeds. Plants rely on other things to help them spread the seeds out wide and far. Some plants need animals to help them disperse the seeds. The animals eat the seeds and cannot be easily broken down in the digestive system. This means that the seed comes out as waste on the ground, and then it can grow in its new habitat. Plants like the poppy plant can spread its seeds like a salt shaker. The seeds are loosely attached to the plant and so can be spread easily. The wind plays an important part in dispersal of some seeds. The plants that do not produce edible fruit use the wind to carry the seeds off into the distance. The sycamore tree is a good example of this, as its seeds are shaped so that they can fly like a helicopter in the wind. Wow, that's a really difficult reading with lots of scientific words and knowledge in there, so you might want to read it again before trying the questions. Your task is in your literacy book to answer the questions in your packs. Number them neatly along the side, so 1, and then you would write your answer. 2, write your answer to the next question. You need to use your text to help you. You might need to look back and think about what section it could be in, what paragraph could the information be in. If it's talking about the parts of a flower, then it would be in this section. So read it really carefully and look through where could you find the information. When you have finished your comprehension questions, you have your Chilli challenge to complete. The mild Chilli challenge is to complete the sentences using one of the 3 words at the bottom, using the information that you've just learnt from the text. The hot challenge is to circle the correct words to make the sentence correct. There are some options. You need to choose the right one, the right tense for the sentence. Finally, today's spicy challenge is to write a definition for 4 words: nutrients, adaptation, pollinate and photosynthesis. You are all doing an amazing job completing your remote learning and we're really proud of you. Don't forget that today is Friday, so you need to have brought your packs back so that we can look over them and we can give you a new pack with next week's work. Well done everyone, keep smiling, keep positive and stay safe. Hopefully we'll all be back together in school soon.